that yes, this video is a re-upload, unfortunately. The original Mortal Kombat kill count got copyright claimed and was going to be blocked from YouTube entirely because I dared to include a few seconds of the Mortal Kombat song in it. You know, the one that goes, Mortal Kombat! Because of that, I had to edit this kill count and take out all instances of that fantastic song that I had nothing but praise for. Since my script, at times, relied on the viewer having just heard the song in the video, I have replaced all instances of it with me playing it on the saxophone. So, hope you're ready for more of this. Sorry to clog your feeds like this, but I do hope you watch this re-upload since I was denied all of the ad revenue from the 2.5 billion views the original upload got. Man, does that suck. Alright, enjoy the video. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Mortal Kombat! Now, right off the friggin' bat, let's all acknowledge that this isn't a horror movie, okay? It's not even horror adjacent. But there is no way that anyone could claim that the Mortal Kombat game series is not horror adjacent. Midway's 1992 Mortal Kombat, created by Ed Boon and John Tobias, is a landmark video game arguably as important as Doom. And y'all know that I'm a Doom head. Mortal Kombat was so splat-tastically violent and over the top that it literally caused the creation
I'm reacting to friggin' Mortal Kombat today because I've already tried uploading the video of me reacting to his Scream 5 kill count, and I'm pretty much just fed up with this bullcrap.
Were a common gateway into the world of ultra-violence for many a millennial like myself.
Not joking, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm not doing that reaction ever again. I'm not doing that reaction ever again.
Freddy, Jason, Predator, a Xenomorph, and look at this,
my friend,
obviously, this is a property that embraces
the
horror genre, so I welcome it with open arms to the Dead Meat family. Besides, what are some of my to-the-numbers bits, if not the kill count's own fatalities? Toasty! I'm also hoping the franchise continues to inch closer to horror with the appropriately violent new film adaptation hitting theaters and HBO Max on April 23rd. Until then, though, we've got the 1995 version, which was PG-13, making it about as violent as a Power Rangers episode. The original Mortal Kombat movie came about when producer Lawrence Kasanoff saw the game's multimedia potential. It incorporates and builds upon the story of the first two games, because, in case you didn't know, the MK games are way more than just excessive violence. Throughout their nearly 3 decades of consistent releases, the games have developed a complicated storyline featuring a huge cast of characters, most of whom are pretty unique and memorable. It's one of the reasons I love Mortal Kombat so much. The 1995 film is an integral part of the franchise, informing the way these characters would be depicted in later games, while also paying respect to the games that already existed, copying moves in ways that look just like the game's sprites perform them, and screaming catchphrases that had already become infamous. Get over here! Get over here! For mega fans of the game, like yours truly, there are a lot of little things to appreciate here. Mortal Kombat 95 was directed by a then little-known British filmmaker named Paul W.S. Anderson, who was already a fan of the game when he was hired for the film. He'd later find success with another video game movie, Resident Evil, and we've seen his work on the kill count previously with Alien vs. Predator. Anderson's style perfectly suits the source material, because the thing about Mortal Kombat is that it never takes itself too seriously. The over-the-top gore is meant to be funny in a way, so the fact that this movie is silly, stupid, and loud makes it feel like a faithful rendition. Don't get me wrong, it's not all good. The near-complete absence of blood is anathema to the franchise, and I cannot fucking stand Christopher Lambert as Lord Raiden. Plus, if you're not already familiar with the property, this movie does a piss-poor job explaining what's going on. It is a bad screenplay, sometimes completely eschewing transitions just to quickly get to the next electro-thumping fight scene. But damn it, this movie is fun, with some decent production value and humor. I admit that there's no way I can objectively judge this thing, since the games were just too important to me while growing up. But if you're even half the Mortal Kombat fan that I am, you should be able to turn your brain off and have a good time. With so many mortals combating to the death, you know that plenty will fail and get finished off. Let's see how many and get to the kills. The movie begins with a Mortal Kombat! Fuck yeah! Let's hear that again with the title card! Mortal Kombat! Yeah, that's hot.
Okay, well you could have just had that more and say Mortal Kombat.
Scary sorcerer and a kid who's about to get wrecked. Young Chan here don't stand a chance against Shang Tsung, an incredible villain played perfectly by Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. In no time at all, Shang Tsung breaks Chan's back, then tells his brother and the audience the young boy's ethereal fate.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Cue the scary snaky face. Chan's brother is Liu Kang, played by Robin Shu, who started his career as a stunt performer and actor in Hong Kong. Tormented by his brother's death, Liu returns to his ancestral home of China, where the movie reveals that it's kind of balling on a budget. Though these scenes are set in China, they were filmed in Thailand. I believe this location is Wat Ratchabarana, a 600-year-old temple in Ayutthaya Historical Park. The fight between Shang Tsung and Chan was filmed nearby at Wat Phra Si San Phet, another historical temple. Liu Kang's grandfather tells him that his brother Chan died preparing for a tournament that'll save the whole world. It's a legend Liu Kang grew up with, but one he doesn't believe is real, which is why he moved to America and became a Beverly Hills ninja. Now he's back and wants to enter the tournament so he can find his brother's killer and avenge his death. The deliberation over his entry is interrupted by a mysterious man. It's the God of Thunder, the eternal demigod, motherfucking Lord Ray. Wait, who the fuck is this guy? It's Christopher Lambert, friggin' Highlander. And his casting as Raiden is my least favorite thing about this movie. Raiden is a literal god who defends Earth from other dimensions. That is not the vibe I'm getting from Christopher Lambert. I don't believe this guy's authority for a second. And even though Raiden's face is never shown in the game, creator Ed Boon said they thought of him as having come from Asian mythology. Frenchman Christopher Lambert doesn't quite fit that bill. Since Liu Kang doesn't think much of this guy either, he says he's off to join the tournament, no matter what all these old dudes say. In Los Angeles, home of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, action film star Johnny Cage films his latest movie. Although some critics think he's a phony, he's actually got mad skills, which aren't always matched by his on-set opponents.
This is where you fall down.
Oh, yes, sir. Right away, sir. Cage is tired of making movies directed by people like Peven Peelberg there, so he's open to a suggestion from his sensei, Mr. Boyd. Boyd tells him about a once-in-a-generation fighting tournament and says that if Cage can win it, he'll finally silence his haters. What Cage doesn't know is that this tournament is being run by the shape-shifting sorcerer Shang Tsung. To get to the tournament, Cage will have to take a boat out of Hong Kong, which is where Special Forces agent Sonya Blade is hunting for a man named Kano. And she doesn't let silly obstacles like civilians slow her down. Move it, meatbags! Your civil rights end where my fist begins! Sonya's played by Bridget Wilson, who's that Veronica Vaughn, and who was last on the kill count and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Her target, Kano, a nasty Australian with a red cyborg eye, is planning to lead her to that tournament under the orders of Shang Tsung. Before she gets there, Sonya's gonna shoot a guy through a window. And although he's got some armor on, I still think he dies while Sonya questions him, looking like she wants him to go back and finish high school. Johnny Cage arrives at a dock in Hong Kong and meets a fighter he recognizes named Arlene.
You're Arlene, aren't you?
Yeah, that's Arlene. Everyone loves movie-only character Arlene. You can't have a smart scene without Arlene. Case in point, without Arlene around, dumb Johnny Cage asks Liu Kang to carry his luggage.
I pay money, you carry the bags. Or is that too complicated?
No. I get it. This movie's humor is actually not bad for an action movie made in 1995.
Jesus.
I was surprised by how much of it holds up.
Thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
A badass dragon ship pulls into port looking like it's rolling down the rivers of America, ready to kick off Fantastic. From afar, Sonya sees Kano in what may be the movie's single coolest shot, and when the criminal climbs aboard the ship, she flees her partner Jax to follow. Oh, be careful, Sonya. That fog could be hiding ghost pirates! It's a bummer this is all we get of Jax in this movie, but at least he'll be in the new one. Boy, will he be in the new one. On the ship, our three human heroes meet and are introduced to Shang Tsung. He shows them that he's got a couple of ninjas under his employment. Sub-friggin' Zero, who's as cold as ice, and Scorpion, who's got ways of making you get over there. Raiden shows up as a lightning cloud, smacks both they ninja asses down, then yells at Shang Tsung in Lambert's annoying Raiden voice.
Your sideshow freaks attack my fighters. That is expressly forbidden before the tournament. as your emperor well knows.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna mention the Emperor a lot in this movie, and they're referring to Shao Kahn, who's the big bad of the original game trilogy. But the movie hardly bothers to explain who he is at all, so don't feel bad if you get confused. Raiden now looks the tiniest bit more like a thunder god, and shows off his powers by teleporting above deck. But I still can't take him seriously with that stupid raspy voice, even as he says the franchise name.
You have been chosen to defend the realm of Earth in a tournament called Mortal Kombat.
He looks like friggin' Celeborn, everyone's least favorite Sindarin elf, and he cackles like Seth Rollins. Get out of here, you MK Messiah. Raiden does his best to explain the movie's plot. He says another realm called Outworld, run by an evil emperor, is trying to conquer our realm, which is called Earthrealm, naturally. The only way the emperor can do that is if Shang Tsung and his warriors can win 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments, and they've already won 9.
This will be the 10th tournament.
A skull in the sky signals that they've arrived at their location. Well, that or someone's doing Fort of the Damned.
It has begun!
Nope, they've arrived. It's go time, motherfuckers! The fighters take some dragon boats down what looks like the Anduin River until they land at the fighting island filmed at Railay Beach in Thailand. Here, they're afforded neither luxuries nor magnetic stability. And man, can someone please consider an escalator for this place? Come on! Inside the temple at the top of those stairs, it looks like a sculpture garden designed by Willy Wonka. A woman named Princess Katana is lounging around serving looks, and since she's the Emperor's adopted daughter and heir to the realm of Outworld, Shang Tsung tells one of his underlings to watch over her, an abysmal cartoon lizard named Reptile. Yep, that's Reptile. He sucks almost as much as Raiden. There's a pre-tourney feast that all of our favorite characters attend. Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Sonya, Art Lean. Shang Tsung speaks to Art in the gang and hypes up the next day's tournament, as well as its reigning champion.
Prince Goro.
Dun dun dun. There's an exhibition match between Sub-Zero and a dude who wears his red shirt on his head. As totally ripped as this guy is, and he's got muscles you've never even seen before. God damn! He's just no match for my man Sub-Zero. With a single down forward low punch, Subby causes the dude to freeze, and he shatters at the feet of the proud spectator Shang Tsung.
Flawless victory.
Hell yeah, it was. That's another nod to the game, of course. A flawless victory occurs when you win without taking any damage. Liu Kang and Johnny Cage join Sonya Blade as she continues looking for Kano. They find him picking out at a feast that includes Ren Fair-sized turkey legs and wheels of cheese. Wait, is that cake? No, I think it's cheese.
That's Kano.
Oh, I guess it's Kano. Kano's eating in the company of 9-time tourney champ Prince Goro, a 4-armed mess of a monster puppet who's got a kick-ass voice, courtesy of Kevin Michael Richardson, and a string of titles suitable for a king of Westeros.
I am Goro, General of the armies of Outworld and Prince of the subterranean realm of Shokan.
He's also got a great daily affirmation.
I do not fail!
The heroes leave their spy nest, and there's nearly zero connective tissue as they see Katana and go to follow her, get sprayed in the face by Reptile, and wind up in a big room where they're forced to test their might. The Mortal Kombat song used repeatedly in this movie is Techno Syndrome by Belgian electronic musicians The Immortals. A version of it was released as a single 2 years before this movie came out. It was part of the commercial for Mortal Kombat's home console release. This movie's soundtrack, with music composed by George S. Clinton, was so popular that it was reportedly the first ever EDM album to go platinum. The title song is also important to me personally. When our parents weren't home, my friends and I would just blare it from the speakers and, just beat the shit out of each other all around the house. Never forget that, Ricky and Randy. This fight between the heroes and a bunch of NPNs, non-playable ninjas, isn't one of the movie's best. It's just isolated, choreographed fight moves with absolutely zero fluidity. But god damn it, that friggin' song and seeing Sonya clothesline a dude still makes it pretty fun to watch. Their performance wins them a slow clap from Raiden, who cackles away the second wave of nameless bad guys.
I don't think so.
God, I hate movie Raiden so much. But apparently Lambert was a really great guy during production. flying himself out to Thailand on his own dime and helping novice filmmaker Paul Anderson. He even paid the tab for the rap party, so you know what? Good on him. The next day, the tournament begins with Liu Kang facing a fighting monk, played by kickboxing champion Hakeem Alston. This fight's a lot better than the previous one. A lot more unbroken long shots of athleticism being performed by Shu and Alston.
When you see people fight in our movie, they're doing it.
Most of the movie's fight scenes were choreographed by Pat Johnson, a 9th degree black belt in American Tong Soo Do, who also choreographed films such as Karate Kid and the original TMNT. In the end, Liu Kang wins the fight with a drop kick and a kip up, and Shang Tsung reveals what happens to this tourney's losers.
Your soul is mine.
That line is a movie invention, but since Tagawa is so perfect as the character, future games would incorporate it into Shang Tsung's dialogue.
Your soul is mine.
Sonya gets the next fight, against Kano, of course, whose performance by Trevor Goddard also influenced future games.
Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
Originally designed with a resemblance to Terminator, after this movie, Game Kano also became a sleazy Australian.
I only need 2 strikes to gut you.
It's sad to learn that Goddard took his own life in 2003 at the age of 40. Rest in peace. This intergender showdown features hard-hitting moves from both contestants. It was one of the last fights filmed in order to give Bridget Wilson more time to prepare. Wilson got the role at the very last minute, which is kind of funny considering that Sonya Blade was a last-minute character added to the game. Originally, Cameron Diaz was cast to play Sonya Blade, in part due to the physical training she received for her role in The Mask. But while training to play Sonya, Diaz broke her wrist, and Wilson was rushed to the Mortal Kombat set the morning after she finished filming Billy Madison. Because of that, her combat training took place on set in between scenes. It's impressive how well she handled it all. She really captures the spirit of Sonya Blade. Kano manages to kick some guttural yells out of her. But in the end, Sonya uses her legs to get one over on him. At Shang Tsung's insistence, Sonya murders Kano in a kind of Xena on the top way.
Oh, give me a break.
Okay.
And kind of in a Bond way, too, with that pun. Hey, how about we just swish pan over to an orchard so we can have a fight that's completely out of context? This is Cage v. Scorpion.
Yeah, well, even where was he?
After test audiences wanted more action. It begins with Scorpion's trademark catchphrase, voiced by game developer Ed Boon, Scorpion's OG voice actor.
Get over here!
His harpoon from the game is now some kind of weird palm bird thing, and it chases Cage around until it's recalled by Scorpion's other trademark catchphrase.
Come here!
Johnny Cage tries to shadow kick Scorpion, only to get teleported to, hell or something. I don't know, kinda looks like the monster world from Little Monsters, all scaffolding and cobwebs, and bones, and Scorpion!
Welcome!
What? That's not one of your trademark catchphrases, dude. The two of them fight for a bit in a match that would earn at least 3 stars for Meltzer. Their choreographed chemistry may come from the fact that Chris Casamassa, who plays Scorpion, helped train Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage. Sucks that Ashby got a bruised kidney from an axe kick in this fight, though. Highlights of the match include Cage getting kicked in the head a whole bunch, and him giving a gymnastics performance that could kill a raptor if he were in the Lost World. Scorpion gets so jealous of those moves, he starts making up new lines.
Get down here!
Listen, buddy, we don't pay you to talk, okay? We pay you to do your fatality, where you reveal that you have a skull that can breathe fucking fire! Hell yeah! Cage protects himself from the attack and throws a spear at Scorpion in retaliation. It sets him on fire, and a few more flaming strikes open Scorpion up and causes his lava blood to flow. Then his head just ups and explodes, and if that wasn't enough, his body becomes a fireball too. And all that with an autographed photograph from the Cagester, referencing the friendship endings of MK2, and at least Scorpion went out in a kick-ass way. Liu Kang's got the next match. Wait, was that Scorpion fight in the tournament? And it's against his crush, Princess Kitana. Ooh. Kitana is played by Talisa Soto, an actor of Puerto Rican descent who was a Bond girl and licensed to kill. She kicks his ass with punches and punches his brain with advice.
To win your next match, use the element which brings life.
But that's about all that happens in this scene. The movie has stopped caring about making sense, so now we're in this room with some floor art that could be at the DIA. Liu Kang enters it to be in another fight.
Oh, hi, Mr. Kang. This is your light beam. Stand there.
This fight's against Sub-Zero, who, along with Scorpion, was really wasted in this movie. movie. The two of them were almost definitely the fan-favorite characters of the game, and they had already developed some intricate intertwined backstory completely absent from the film. Sub-Zero was a Chinese assassin of the Lin Kuei clan, and Scorpion was an undead Japanese ninja of the Shirai Ryu clan. He came to the Mortal Kombat tournament seeking vengeance against Sub-Zero, who killed him. It sucks that the movie reduces them to being the big bad's thugs, and it's confusing that these two East Asian characters are played by an American for Scorpion and a Frenchman, martial artist Francois Petit, for Sub-Zero. Then again, character races in MK have always been murky and prone to retconning. The original games Sub-Zero and Scorpion were played by American Daniel Pesina, who also played Johnny Cage. In any case, both Casamassa and Petit are clearly legit martial artists, and I learned that Petit was even a WWE medic who tended to Mick Foley during his infamous Hell in a Cell match. When Subby starts using his ice powers against Liu Kang, Kitana suddenly appears on the fight stage's wings to remind him of her earlier advice.
Use the element which brings life.
Why golly, that means water, which Liu Kang uses to kill Sub-Zero. I'm not pleased by how easily Sub-Zero is defeated here, but I guess being killed by a giant icicle is an alright way for him to go out. With his ninjas defeated, Shang Tsung tells Goro that meat's back on the menu. The monster, off-screen, throws a bunch of human extras against those hot coals you walk across during New Age corporate retreats. I'm not counting any of these as deaths, though. They're too bloodless and lazy for me to accept on the kill count. I will not reward half-assery such as this. These fights were probably shot this way because Goro's puppet was constantly malfunctioning on set. It was basically as bad as Bruce the Shark, but I still think the construction of Goro is an impressive feat of engineering. He's both an animatronic and a carefully sculpted suit, worn and performed by Tom Woodruff Jr., who played Xenomorphs in a bunch of the Alien movies. It was Woodruff's company, ADI, that created Goro at the cost of about $1 million. The monster required as many as 16 puppeteers to control everything from his arms to his eyebrows. And although it admittedly looks pretty dumb sometimes, I can't help but love that they did this thing practically. Goro's first on-screen match is against the MK tournament darling, Art Lean. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, that's it! Come on, Art! You can do it! Come on! Make a move, Art!
Yeah, see? Everyone loves Art Lean. Except Goro. He grabs Art Lean's fists with two of his hands, then beats the living hell out of him with the other two. With Shang Tsung's encouragement,
Finish him!
Goro then kills Art Lean. Wait, what? With that weenie club to the chest?
I actually played Mortal Kombat once with my friend
monster and all, but
at his house a year
ago. Do you know what game Goro would have done to that guy? Probably something like that. Sonya cries.
I played against Goro.
Art Lean, and Shang Tsung takes his.
I don't know how I did it, but I was able to beat him.
About consistency, he now droplets that spirit onto his eyeball.
I was surprised, and he was surprised too.
After a sex-charged sunset,
and we call that
to challenge Goro to keep him away from Sonya. Goro makes his entrance, surrounded by adoring fans, and Johnny Cage makes his entrance with his face adorned by sunglasses. Goro's not impressed by them. The match begins, and Cage drops into the splits to give Goro a nutcracker, a popular move from the games. He then gets Goro to follow him out onto a terrace where he reprimands his lack of respect for other people's personal property.
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Cage knocks the beast down off the platform, and though Goro holds on with 2 of his 12 fingers, Cage gives him further instructions.
This is where you fall down.
Goro's death is painfully digital, his little figure shrinking down with the simplicity of a scaling setting. Bloop! I do like the footage of them filming his fall in front of a green screen. Good stuff. Shang Tsung grabs a hold of Sonya so she can be a damsel for the last act of this film. With a shitty-looking portal that looks like a Drano commercial when it whisks them away, Shang Tsung takes her to the realm of Outworld, where Raiden cannot follow. Thank fucking God. Leave his cackling ass behind and get down that drain pipe, kids! It's time to go to Outworld, where a path of fires leads towards the Emperor's imposing power. Along the way, Liu Kang discovers Reptile and throws his lizard ass into the chest of a stone scarecrow thing. By some whack-ass logic, this thankfully transforms Reptile into the familiar green ninja who was a hidden character in the first game. And I mean hidden.
Reptile was a secret character. If he was on the pit stage and had a silhouette fly past the moon, and then win a double flawless victory without blocking, you'd be able to fight Reptile on the floor of the pit.
Another great electronic song starts up for what may be the best fight of the film. It was another one filmed during reshoots, and it and Cage v Scorpion were actually choreographed by Robin Shou himself. This one incorporates Hong Kong-style wire work that would become famous in American movies after its use in The Matrix. The fight also fractured two of Shou's ribs when he was thrown into a pillar by Reptile's actor Keith Cook. Ouch. Liu Kang wins the fight with an MK2 bicycle kick, another one of the most popular moves in the game. It's enough to defeat Reptile, though I don't know why he turns into a bunch of bugs and also back into that lizard thing, which Liu Kang then crushes. Was Reptile Oogie Boogie? Kitana joins Kang and Cage for an Outworld stroll full of backstory. She says her father was once the ruler of Outworld, but when Outworld lost 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments, the Emperor Shao Kahn took over the realm. Remember, we haven't met Shao Kahn even once in this movie, nor have they called him by his name, Shao Kahn. Anyway, Shao Kahn killed her parents, took the throne, and adopted her as his daughter to give his rule more legitimacy. Now he lives in this giant tower where Shang Tsung holds Sonya captive, possibly preparing her to star in a Twisted Sisters music video. He's got a League of these Shadow Priest guys from the background of some levels in MK2, and is planning to fight Sonya in the tournament so he can beat her and allow the Emperor to take over Earthrealm. But he won't be able to do that. Not if our heroes have anything to say about it.
I am Liu Kang, descendant of Kung Lao. I challenge you to Mortal Kombat.
Shang Tsung accepts, and we've got our main event. Break out the title song! Have a good back and forth for a while before Shang Tsung decides to prolong the match by summoning a bunch of randos to fight on his behalf. Despite how dangerous and excited they are, none of them manage to slow Liu Kang down. Once again, I won't be counting any of these as kills. I'm pretty sure he's just knocking them out, you know? Liu Kang very awkwardly runs up the stairs to confront the shape-shifting sorcerer once and for all. Shang Tsung transforms into his deceased brother Chan, and for some ungodly reason, Liu Kang falls for it for way too long. You saw him change in front of you, man. That's obviously not your brother. Liu finally catches on, and Shang Tsung drops the ruse. And with the floor below all of a sudden extra spiky, their combat takes on its most mortal stakes yet. Liu grabs the sorcerer and frees some of the souls he's been nomming up through his eyeballs. That weakens him enough for Liu Kang to come out of a backlight and kick Shang Tsung's ass to the edge of this platform. With a forward high punch, Liu fireballs him off the platform and down onto a spike below.
Flawless victory.
Wait, what? That wasn't flawless. He landed hits on you, dog. But it's still a nice nod to the game's stage fatality in the pit level. Shang Tsung turns into a bastard skelly and then becomes a beam of light, inside of which a bunch of souls swim around like this was Hercules. Yo, is Arlene in there? Hey, where's Arlene's soul? Chan appears and thanks Liu for being such a cool older brother. It's totally gonna make him look good to all the other spirits. Alright, thanks again, bro. Back to the chill-ass spirit world. Look at that guy. He's having a blast. Having saved the day, the heroes return to China, where Raiden is waiting to tell them good job.
You humans are so unpredictable.
Shut up, Raiden. The movie ends with the Emperor Shao Kahn, voiced by Scooby-Doo himself, Frank Welker, finally making an appearance. Comes off as a little Rita Repulsa, though.
Weak, pathetic fools. I've come for your souls.
I don't think so.
Pose for the sequel. How many people were mortally wounded during their combat? Let's find out. Wait, what'd you just say, numbers? 11 people for sure died in Mortal Kombat, and since there were only 2 ladies in the entire friggin' movie, it's not surprising that all of the victims were male. That's why that always happens, y'all. With a runtime of 101 minutes, nearly 10 of those taken up by credits, we had a victim on average every 9.18 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Scorpion. No competition. I already love seeing practical flames burn a bastard skelly, but then you add some lava blood into the mix? Talk about toasty! No machete for lamest skill. Go to Arlene. How you about to kill everyone's favorite character with a punch? And that's it. Mortal Kombat came out in 1995 and spent 3 weeks being #1 at the box office. That fetched it a sequel, which is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. I'll show you that next week, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this week's Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons.
I hope this thing is uploaded. If it does, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.